You know, sometimes in this business you see things, and I've seen things. I've seen things. Truth is, this video is so awesome I couldn't think of an intro.
Guitar Stuff with John!
Welcome to another edition of Guitar Stuff with John. So, as you may have noticed, more and more review videos are going up on the channel. We have exited the hectic summer touring itinerary and are now I now have time during the week to get back into the thing I love the most, which is talking about guitars. So today, boys and girls, I'm going to show you something that you have never seen before and may never see again, because number one, this review is actually on two guitars, and number two, to have these two instruments in the same room with one guy talking about them, I just don't know anywhere else you're going to see it. It's an absolute fluke of nature that these two instruments are with me right now. And also from the kind generosity of the people at Epiphone Gibson. So, as you know, I have long been a proponent of the Inspired by Gibson line that Epiphone makes. And they're just really amazing guitars. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, as a veteran pro guitar player, the IBG Epiphones, the 45, the J200, the Hummingbird, and now, other things as well that are coming out of the Epiphone line. These are the best production factory line guitars, in my opinion, that have come out in the past 20 years. They have the quality, they have the pricing, and they have the vibe, right? They got the vibe of the old retro guitars that were made in the 50s and 60s. I've showed you these instruments, and I know a lot of you have gone out and bought them and agreed that they just blew your mind, right? So, I'm going to show you something right now that will really blow your mind. It blew my mind. A few months ago, Epiphone Gibson contacted me. They had been watching the channel. They appreciated everything I was doing to get the word out about the Epiphone IBG series. So they sent me something that is basically on loan here, but they sent it to me, and I was floored. Because not only is it a model I wanted to get in the line, this isn't just any Epiphone. This, my friends, is the Epiphone Frontier. The Epiphone Frontier, made in Bozeman, Montana at the Custom Shop. This guitar retails for around $4,000 Canadian. This comes from the Master Craftsman's Bench in Bozeman. And it is indeed an Epiphone. It is a prime example of the level of guitar building that existed in Epiphone and Gibson back in the 50s. This guitar is so retro and so incredibly made that when I pulled it out of the case the first time, I just barely could believe what I was seeing or hearing. So this guitar represents not only the craftsman history of Epiphone, but also it pays tribute to a company that has been part of our lives through Gibson for 60 years. Epiphone is a name that has always been there. And now I'm so glad and overjoyed to see that it's starting to get the props it deserves. And it's because of guitars like this one, made in the custom shop, that you start to realize, hey, Epiphone, they're not fooling around. They can really build guitars now and could build them then. So I want you to take a close look at this thing. And the sound of this guitar is, well, you'll hear it. It's unbelievable. It's just one of the most beautiful sounding guitars I've ever played. So true. The intonation's incredible. Well, I mean, obviously, this came out of Bozeman, Montana, right? You're not going to get better guitars in this vein than you're going to get from Gibson Epiphone. They are the kings of the bling country western guitars, right? This one, they went over the top. Just, oh my God. It's just such a guitar. It's everything that Gibson Epiphone embodies rolled into this incredible instrument that is built to the original Epiphone specifications. It is a Engelmann or Sick. I'm not sure what the spruce they're using on this top, but it's gorgeous. We're going to take a close look at it. It has all the appointments. It has the beautiful lasso and cactus pickguard. It has the backwards rosewood bridge, bone, bound in ivoroid, a mahogany neck, and this unbelievable maple back and sides. Flame maple, stained blonde. It's just difficult to even, when I pulled it out of the case, I was just like, this is why people dream of Epiphone and Gibson, right? This model of guitar was played by, quite a few of the big country stars in the 50s and 60s, as was the Excellente, designed specifically for Loretta Lynn. This guitar was designed for somebody. I'm not sure who. Would have to look up the history of it. But the Frontier, the Texan, played by John Lennon, this is a huge history. There's a massive piece of guitar history contained in this custom shop Epiphone guitar. I'm going to show you something else right now that will boggle the mind. Yesterday, I went for sushi. Yes, sir, I did. As we often do down here at the barn. And on our way into sushi, I told the lovely Ginger, let's stop at Long and McQuaid in Bedford, Nova Scotia. And we did. I actually went in there to look at a different guitar that I was considering ordering to review, which I decided against, and I won't talk about it because the reason I decided against it is I was not that pleased with the one that was in there that I played, and I just said, okay, I'm not going to do that. So I turned around and looked up the wall, and what did I see? A band of guitars coming after me. I looked up on the wall, and by God, I couldn't believe my eyes, because I already had this guitar sitting here in the studio waiting for review. What did I see? An Epiphone Frontier. This is the Indonesian factory line version of the guitar I just showed you. In other words, an inspired by Gibson line guitar. You can tell that, first of all, by the quality of this instrument, the price tag, which is just $1,200 Canadian, and this unique, it looks like a nitro satin finish. They tell me it's poly, but I have a difficult time accepting that because it doesn't feel, look, or sound like poly. So I bought this guitar retail. I couldn't help myself. I was like, I have to have it, and because I played it, and I was like, wow. Another example of how Epiphone, and when I say Epiphone, I'm saying Gibson as well, because Gibson's making these decisions. Gibson's making these decisions to put out not only these custom shop guitars, which I'm quite sure I've looked for these things, and they are very difficult to find because they're sought after by guitar players and collectors. But they're making it possible for Joe Blow guitar player to walk into their local Long and McQuaid, whom I thank dearly for this instrument. Thank you so much, everyone at Long and McQuaid, right across Canada. Walk into the Long and McQuaid or your Guitar Center or wherever you are in the world, and you can pick up this guitar. Now, this guitar is flawless. Flawless. It's built in the factory in Indonesia under Epiphone's master-built specs. And there's just a few tiny differences between this and the original custom shop Epiphone, right? And I'm going to show them to you, and it's going to boggle your mind. But listen to this guitar. Just strung it last night. This guitar is just amazing. It's amazing, this guitar. It's just as amazing as the other one in different ways. It has a darker, more subdued, but huge volume and projection like the other one. You can tell that this guitar was born, in the same roost as the custom shop. And that absolutely amazes me, because you would think that I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how Gibson and Epiphone are pulling this off. But man, I hope they keep doing it forever, because they're putting out a crop of instruments on both sides of the price fence that are unbelievable. And this guitar is all solid. Flame maple back and sides, Sitka spruce top, rosewood, bone, high quality machine, Gibson, machine heads. The only difference that I've seen between the two of them is I believe this is an 11/16 neck, and that's a 3/4 neck. But I don't even mind it on this guitar. This guitar, the neck feels narrow, but I seem to still have room. So what are you going to do, right? It's amazing. It's so much fun to see these two instruments side by side, because there's something here for every single player and every single bank account, right? You're not going this huge step down to get the $1,200 guitar. Let's take a close look at these. I want to explore this situation, because it's very unique. We have these two instruments in the room together, and I'm going to show you the differences and talk about, well, a few things. Let's take a close look. So here we are at the headstock of the Montana Custom Shop Epiphone. There's one difference, or actually two differences in the headstock I'm going to show you momentarily. But you've got this beautiful original shape Epiphone headstock. Truss cover plate right there. Bone nut, rosewood fingerboard, and these really cool block fret markers that I just love these things. They're gorgeous. Right down to our square end fretboard tail. Beautiful neck. The profile is amazing. So let's take a close look at the top. This guitar is light as a feather, by the way. So you have this incredible retro lasso and cactus with flowers, right? I love this pickguard, and I love. This was pointed out to me yesterday. It almost looks like they should have brought the pickguard all the way to the edge of the bridge, but didn't. But this is a design choice that they made, and I'm going to show you there's a difference there on the Indonesian model. You've got a beautiful spruce top. I'm not sure if they're using Engelmann or Sitka. Look at the flame in it. Like it's unbelievable how nice this guitar is. It's just a work of art. You've got the backwards rosewood bridge, tusk, micarta, pegs, saddle. And then on the back, boom, flame maple up the wazoo. It's just beautiful. And it's so Gibson. This is the type of flame maple work you expect to see on a Gibson instrument, especially a vintage one. We see a beautiful spalting there. On the other side, it's matched over here. You can see a shadow of it just there. That's really cool. I like that. I love anomalies in wood. And the sides, of course, also have a tremendously beautiful deep flame. Look at that. Wow. Just gorgeous. And on that, a mahogany neck. A mahogany neck that is really, really nice. This neck is so slim and smooth and beautiful. The original Gibson Clusive style tuners, gold plated, of course. And inside the guitar is also an LR Baggs, I believe an LR Baggs pickup system. I think that's Baggs. I'm just going by the color of the hardware. It could be Fishman. Fishman is in the other guitar. But there you go. There's the Montana Custom Shop Epiphone Frontier. Just beautiful. Beautiful. And then, bang, boom. Look at that. This is the Indonesian model. Now the difference between these two is this guitar has the more narrow profile headstock, has the Epiphone logo on the truss plate. But other than that, it also has a more pronounced curl at the top. We're going to look at them side by side at the end. But look at this guitar. It's unbelievable. Again, tusk, rosewood, beautiful fret markers. The neck is gorgeous. It's very, very well profiled neck. Then we see the body. Again, sunburst, which I love. I love that this is a sunburst guitar. And there's your rope cactus flower pickguard. Now look at how this one sits. This one touches the bottom of the bridge. This is a design choice that Epiphone Gibson does to set this apart from the original design. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Rosewood bridge, tusk, tusk, tusk. Beautiful, sick atop. Super tight grain. And that gorgeous sort of satin. They keep telling me it's poly, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe them or not. But it's just a beautiful finish. Beautiful finish. And then boom, here we go again. All solid flame maple in the back. And this one has got some really cool, you can see that they managed to pick a piece that had a very unique design in it. Obviously, they're not going to put like high-grade premium flame in this, but look at what they managed to put in it. Like it's just beautiful. It's got all this movement. Look at that. How that shows off the sunburst. Back and sides, all solid maple. All solid maple. And there you go. So there's two Epiphone guitars. Look at that. You see the difference in the headstocks, how narrow the Indonesian one is and how wide the custom shop one is. I really do believe there's a nut width difference. I'm not sure about that. It feels like the Indonesian is a 1/11/16 and this is 1 3/4, but I don't know that for certain. It's hard to tell. I'd have to measure it, but it doesn't matter because they're both really easy to play. And there you go. There's your bodies. You can see the difference in the pick guards right there, how that Indonesian one touches the bridge and the custom shop doesn't. You can also tell a difference in the paint that's used in the cheaper model against the one that's hand engraved, right? And the quality of the tortoise is much higher, of course, in the custom shop. And there you go. And the Indonesian comes with a really nice Fishman sonotone system. I plugged this guitar in, and it sounded absolutely ridiculous. It just sounds great. This one does as well. These guitars are road ready, buddy. So you've got, on the right, you're looking at 4,000 or so Canadian. On the left, you're looking at 1,200. You just can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And I have a few closing ideas before we finish this little video, so let's go back to the front. So there you go. Two unbelievable guitars from a name and a company that, in my opinion, never gets the props it should. It just never does. People look at Epiphones and go, well, they're just a cheaper Gibson. That's not the case. And what's happening in the Gibson Epiphone world right now is proof of that. That these guitars at one time, were among the best built guitars in the world. And they were. It's a fact. There was Martin, there was Gibson, and then Gibson acquired Epiphone, and there was Epiphone. And Epiphone was a chosen brand by many, many artists down through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It was just and I've played them all my life. Now, mind you, I have to qualify this. I want to make sure you understand that there's another level of Epiphone below these. They're still called master built. They've been around for a long time. Some of them are incredible. Inspired by Gibson, and reissues basically are what these are. They just reach another level. They reach another level of quality, craftsmanship, design, all these things. So you can go below this and go into the regular Epiphone Masterbuilt line, and you might find a great guitar. At any rate, you're going to find a guitar that is well made and will last forever. But this echelon here, if you want to see these instruments, you've got to stay inside the Inspired by Gibson or the reissue Frontiers Excellente, that world. That's the guitars I'm talking about. Epiphone in general, below these, great guitars, but they are still just mass-produced factory instruments, and they're hit and miss like any other factory instrument, right? These ones here, I've played a lot of the IBGs, and now I'm into my second reissue. I have the Excellente. Now I have the Frontier from the Indonesian plant. These guitars are wicked. So my final thought is this. This custom shop Frontier. I would take this into any bluegrass jam, man. It would just kill banjos. This guitar boggles my mind, as you probably have been able to discern. And the reason is the way it looks, the way it sounds, the way it's built. They pass this off to me almost nonchalantly. Yeah, here's a guitar from the custom shop. Like, yeah, we do this. We can do this. And here's the deal. At 4,000 Canadian, you're talking about in the realm of D28s, other high-end Gibsons. If you went to a boutique builder and had them build an instrument that is this ornate, that is at this level of wood grade, wood selection, construction, playability, tone, intonation, pickup in it, everything ready to go, you would pay twice as much as you would pay for this guitar. I can guarantee you that. If you're not into this type of bling, I feel sorry for you. I love it. I love the way this thing is designed, and I know from all the other instruments that I own and review that you are getting $8,000 worth of guitar for $4,000 when you buy this guitar. It's just that simple. There's not many guitars that you can pick up right out of the case that sound like this one. The final thought on the other one, right? Made in Indonesia, stickers right on it. It's just as beautiful as the custom shop. It's a quarter of the price. Another Canon. I would take this in any bluegrass band and play it. This shows their willingness, right? Which is, I have been talking about this since the beginning. Gibson Epiphone have decided that they don't care anymore about the competition between the names, or if there is one, or how pricing affects what they're selling. They're now building custom shop instruments like this at a very reasonable price, and they're making these at huge, just a humongous level of quality and workmanship for $1,000. Look, we're talking $900 US. You can have this guitar. That's huge. That's Epiphone Gibson finally saying what I wish every other huge name guitar company would say. They're saying, you know what? We just want guitar players to have great guitars. So if you want to spend the money, here's this. And if you don't have that much, here's this. And you're going to get almost the same quality, right? You're going to get a guitar for this that'll blow your mind, and you're going to get a guitar for this that'll just knock your hat in the crick, right? It's amazing, and I can't thank them enough. The idea that they're doing this, making competing models. They're making a model in the custom shop and a model in the factory line in Indonesia that are of similar quality, like the quality level is the same. They're making guitars that are almost identical, right? And almost identical in quality. They're just different. This one is made in a factory in Indonesia, but it's under the direct direction of the people in Nashville, right? They're over there. This is how it's done. Do it this way. And you end up with a guitar like this. Gibson Epiphone deserve a huge standing ovation from guitar players, right? For doing this, for going back into the history of their company and rebuilding guitars, right? That were incredible 60 years ago. And then also presenting an option, right? To get almost the same guitar, almost the same quality. Some would argue just as good a sound is different than this, but it's also awesome. They're both incredible guitars. But the price points make it so that, hey, if you want to spend $4,000 and get a collector, this is a real collector's item. How many of these will ever be made? Nobody knows. Not many, right? This is a factory instrument, so there might be several thousand of these made. The idea that they are so confident in the brand and in their ability as builders to put these two instruments out side by side says a lot about what they think about guitar players and why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want guitar players to have the best instruments at the price point that they can afford, right? And I think every guitar company should be looking at this, because I'm not going to mention names, but I know other companies, we all do, right? That you can go buy the $5,000 model, and if you pick up one that's $1,000, it's not any good. It just isn't any good. The quality, the craftsmanship, the sound, the tone, the vibe, it's not there. These guitars are just bleeding vibe and volume and tone and playability. And most of all, the innate ability to inspire you to play, right? How could you sit that in the corner and not play it, right? I've been itching to make this video for weeks, ever since I got this guitar. And when I found this one yesterday, I was like, there you go. I have to show these together, because it's the biggest feather in Gibson's cap that could possibly exist, right? Two guitars that are just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Big difference in price, but not a big difference in quality, of sound, of playability. They're both amazing, right? I love it. I think that this should be done by every company. Should take a close look at this and go, you know what, boys? If we're going to sell a cheaper version of our instrument, we really should up the ante. And Gibbs and Epiphone has done this in spades, and I can't thank them enough. And I'm sure that there's guitar players out there just like me who are running into these, right? Of all the different IBG and retro reissue guitars that are out there, and they're running into these going, damn, can't believe that's only $1,000 or $900 or $1,200, whatever country you're in, right? And this is just a freak of nature. This is the pinnacle, in my opinion, of what can be done at Bozeman, Montana. And I can't thank them enough for making this available to me to review it and play it. And this, again, thanks to them again, and to Long & McQuaid Canada for starting to carry guitars like this. Another thing that Gibson and Epiphone is doing to the industry, they're making stores, big chain stores, take a second look at something like this, and they're putting it up on the wall. Cheers, boys. Cheers, and thank you. And this was one of the coolest videos most fun I've ever had doing these two gems. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on Guitar Stuff with John. And next time you're in your local shop, find an Epiphone. Make sure it's one of these babies. IBG, retro reissue. Yeah.